why soul care could actually change your life. You know, the Bible says a joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. And that's in Proverbs 17:22. And here's the thing. Our body holds on to emotions, holds on to pain, and it manifests in our physical body. Just think about it. Simple thing. Stress and anxiety. You start to get anxious, you get nervous. What happens? You tense up. Your blood pressure goes up. Blood sugar levels rise. Both of which are not good. They do damage to our internal organs. They slow down healing processes if you're having surgery or anything like that. It's a known fact that high glucose levels slows and hinders the healing process. So, when our soul is burdened, we get tired. We don't sleep. We're fatigued. We're more susceptible to colds and illnesses. So we need to take care of our soul because it is linked directly to our physical and emotional health. Chronic stress, unforgiveness, bitterness, it really impacts the body. And I mentioned in one of my other videos that unforgiveness has been scientifically proven to be linked to breast cancer. I don't know about you, but I don't want to give any foothold to any kind of abnormal diseases or cells within my body because of emotions and emotional pain. Digestion. Have you ever experienced, here's a funny story. Hopefully you'll find it funny, at least now after the fact, it's kind of funny to me. But I was so stressed to have a conversation. You know, people talk about the fear of speaking in public groups or, on stage. That in and of itself really doesn't intimidate me too much. But I can tell you from personal experience, I know the impact of having a conversation that was stressful. It physically impacted me because of my emotional state. When I first found out that my dad who raised me was not my biological father, he married my biological mother and adopted me when I was young. I was almost 50 when I found out that truth. I flew up to Chicago to have a face-to-face conversation with my parents, and I went up on a Wednesday. Wasn't going to have the conversation, already kind of planned it. I was going to talk to my mom on Thursday and then talk with my dad also on Friday, but I wanted to talk to my mom first. And as Thursday went on, I started getting sick to my stomach. I was starting to feel a little queasy. I was waiting for my dad to go to bed because he always went to bed earlier than my mom did. And she and I would stay up and watch black and white TV or, some of the old programs like Murder, She Wrote. My mom and I would watch together. But anyways, I was sitting on a Zoom call. Actually, I had a leadership call with our network marketing company team. And it was going to basically be after that phone call, I was going to talk to my mom. So on that call, as it was closing, I was getting sicker and sicker to my stomach to the point that I actually had to excuse myself, run to the bathroom, and throw up. I truly threw up. And it wasn't because of anything physically wrong with me. It was because of emotional stress. So after that call, after throwing up twice, I went to my mom and I said, I know the reason I'm sick. It has nothing to do with anything I ate. Is there anything you want to tell me about my childhood? And before I can even finish the question, really, she and I were both in tears. She said that, she never meant to hurt me. I felt very awkward and different as a kid. She didn't want me to feel any worse. Junior high and high school, I was frequently picked on, somewhat bullied, verbally anyways. Didn't want me to feel worse. So last week I mentioned the fact that the truth will always come out one way or another, and that we also need to trust in God's timing for that. So tying back into soul ties and how it impacts our body, or not soul ties, sorry, soul care and how our emotions affect our bodies. That's one of many, many examples, really, as to how we are a triune being designed and created in God's image: spirit, soul, and body. That soul portion is our mind, our will, our emotions, basically kind of our heart. So by freeing up our souls, by doing an inventory, so to speak, of what's going on emotionally, taking it to the Lord in prayer, we can release bitterness, unforgiveness. Remember, forgiving somebody does not mean whatever they did was okay or is excused. It just means I'm not going to carry the weight and burden of it myself. I'll let God be the judge, because honestly, I'm the one caught up in a prison cage or a prison cell. So by restoring our joy, restoring our peace, taking care of our souls, we can then be free to live life in abundance. Jesus came to give us life, and life to the full. So, and the Bible also says to be in good health, to prosper and be in good health as your soul prospers. So let's just open up the door for God. Have him not touch just our hearts with soul care, but then in turn, touch our bodies for physical healing. I want you to live that healed, whole, and holy life that Jesus paid the price for. God bless you.